The reason I went so hardcore for Trump was because, to me, this was a fork in the road, like a very obvious fork in the road. Um, if they had another 4 years, they would legalize enough illegals in the swing states to make the swing states uh, not swing states. They would be blue states. Then they would win the presidential. They'd win the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They would then make district, DC into a state, maybe Puerto Rico, get 4 extra senators, pack the Supreme Court. So then you'll have the House, Judiciary, Senate, and presidency, all blue. And then they will keep importing more illegals to cement that outcome. Basically what happened in California.
Jesus Christ.
It would have been the end.
He literally posted on X, there's a shortage of top-notch air traffic controllers. If you have retired but are open to returning to work, please consider doing so. How about you don't fire as many as you did? So you've got...
and that
Doge is a threat to the bureaucracy.
Yes, this is the most crazy clip I've seen today. Omar said Elon Musk just doesn't know. People don't talk about him as a genius. To me, I think he is one of the dumbest, luckiest people to exist on this earth. When I saw this video, my temperature changed immediately. It is insane to see how these people say this on air. This is the same thing AIC said the other day. Like, I was just mad when I watched that video. I don't know if you've seen it. Take a look at this.
He literally posted on X, there's a shortage of top-notch air traffic controllers. If you have retired but are open to returning to work, please consider doing so. How about you don't fire as many as you did? So you've got...
and that the retirement thing for air traffic controllers is also, again, it just shows how much he doesn't know. I know people talk about him as a genius, but to me, I think he's probably one of the dumbest, luckiest people to exist on this earth. The retirement age for air traffic controllers is 55 or 25 years of service. So unless we raise their retirement age, if they retired, they're not coming back, right? Like they were set to retire. And it is a taxing job. Like on Friday, I went to the FAA in the Minneapolis St. Paul airport to check in on air traffic controllers. What we learned is that they're at 87% capacity. It takes 3 years for somebody to be onboarded to be fully certified in all the equipment and become self-sufficient in order for them to be an air traffic controller. They have 11 people in that pipeline, but they're also set to have more than that in retirement. So they're not going to be at 100% capacity anytime soon. We also know that for the smaller airports, whether it's Crystal that's in my district or Duluth or others, that's also true. They're at 60% capacity, at 70% capacity. Some are at 40% capacity. What they're also firing is not just air traffic controllers. They're firing the people who support them. So technicians, when their equipment goes down, the people who make sure that their equipment is up and running so that they can actually direct the flights on where to.
Yes, this is false. Omar falsely claimed that the Trump administration was firing air traffic controller. I know people talked about him as a genius, but to me, it is crazy. This is a lie. I watched the whole interview where Elon Musk had with Joe Rogan. He made it clear like nothing like this happened. So I don't understand where this information is coming from. They spread this false info and their followers will pick up, continue to spread lies on social media every single day. When you take a look at this tweet, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk on the FFA and DEI, Elon, a lot of well-qualified air traffic controllers were pushed out because of DEI stuff, not to be blunt, but a bunch of really good talented all white guys were pushed out. It is not cool. There's a talent shortage in air traffic control because of DEI and not hiring people on merit. I think we should not put the public safety at risk because of some demented philosophy. That is Elon Musk on Joe Rogan.
Saturday night. And I was literally working on Saturday night to make up for all the distractions I had had the previous week, which came from the executive branch. And so I'm working, trying to catch up on things, and then I get that email on top of it. It's very hard to keep your train of thought when you're getting threatened and harassed like that.
I support the Defense Department, and the jobs that we do are so stressful. And to have this on top of it, I mean, I know that that's their goal, is to make it miserable.
And don't forget about my colleagues that are overseas, and they don't even know how they're getting home, and they're just being terminated.
I feel like what they're doing is sending out these text messages, saying, oh my God, we've got to do X because this is happening. I'm retired. I can't throw money unless I know what the money's going to be used for.
If you ask me.
Yeah, well, you can tell me better than anybody.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Yes, now going into another thing, Jim just committed political life on James says he thinks Trump has syphilis because his argument with Zelensky in the Oval Office yesterday, the disgraced Clinton operative went on to call Trump a disgusting F. America and what is witnessing the death toll of the stupidity disease. Democratic Party, everything they are saying about Trump is a classic projections of what they themselves really are. That is the truth. When I watch these people cry about Elon Musk, oh, Trump this, Trump that, I get so crazy sometimes because some spew this without even checking themselves. If you want to accuse someone of doing something, or look at yourself, look at what you're doing, look at your life before going on air to spew this craziness.
What you saw is madness. And I don't mean madness like I'm mad at you, you mad at me, you didn't say this. I'm talking about madness like King George III kind of madness. And it could be a combination of being a fat slob, which of course he is. It could be that he can't sleep at night because his beached whale body can't allow the circulation it needs. I don't know. I'm not a sleep specialist or a medical doctor. But I think we should revisit the possibility of a syphilis diagnosis. And I know a lot of people that watch this channel, or some of you, or we get any number of MDs and professionals that are getting the comments, and some of you just well-informed citizens. But I don't think we can discount the fact that what we saw was mad. I'm not gonna concede that I'm just asking questions. I'm just making an observation that everyone saw. We know that boy ain't right.
Was stealing half the money over there.
Well, their own president said they don't know where half of it is. Now, you all got to get your facts straight, because everybody knows that. It's been reported in multiple news sources.
Congressman, as you know, most of the money that went to Ukraine was military aid, weapons that were manufactured and purchased in the United States.
So you're paying off the war pimps at the Pentagon to prolong this war. I mean, men are dying because of somebody's profit sheet, is what you're saying, and that's what this country is about, and that is wrong, and that needs to stop, and it's stopping under Trump, and that's why both sides are quietly pitching a fit right now, because they're not going to get rich off of young men dying and old men making terrible decisions, and that's exactly what's going on.
I think people are dying because Russia attacked Ukraine. I mean, I think that is the reason why people are dying.
At the beginning of that war, we were on both sides, if you haven't forgotten. We had gas contracts with with Russia, and then we were giving money to Ukraine. So in effect, as the big bankers sometimes do, they play both sides of the coin, and that's why nobody's in a rush to get this thing going. So we ought to be at war because America's going to profit? Is that what you're saying? Because that sounds a whole lot like what you're saying. Well, you just said that the arms are being bought here in America, and dadgummit, so people should die. Why don't they just give that $200 billion to arms manufacturers and then nobody dies? I mean, by your own admission, you're saying that that this is a profiteer situation, and that's exactly what it is.
This is what I like to hear. He is calling out this crazy CNN journalist, Jack Tapper, the way it should be. You cannot jeopardize people's life because of money. I watched BBC just a few minutes ago. They want to now negotiate a peace deal. They want to sit in Europe, decide what they think, then send it to Trump to look into how they want peace, the war to end. This is what we've been waiting to see for 3 years. Nothing like this was happening until Trump came in. They are now, I think the meeting is going on today to end the war. If Trump was not there, they will continue. Talks of peace will not be surfacing. A lot of people benefited from this. Zelensky wants this to continue. He wants more money and power. Why Trump wants this to end? Peace is the only solution. We should be talking at this time. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. I see a lot of people in the comment sections trying to complain how I speak. I don't know. I think I've improved. If you watch me 3 years back, this is not how I do it. Today has changed. So every day I keep learning and struggling to improve. If you are hearing what I'm saying, please drop on the comment section. Let me see if you watch the video to this end. If you see clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
I don't know if he needs an apology. Wow.
I know. I'm going to get killed on social media for admitting that, but so be it. And the fact is that it doesn't matter whether Vice President Vance planned it or just took the opportunity to bait Zelensky. Zelensky took the bait. Okay,
yeah.
And
what happened at the White House today?
Today, Donald Trump irreparably destroyed the 80-year-old post-World War II international order.
An Oval Office ambush of an American ally that will reverberate all around the world and stain America's image for years to come.
That was, to say the least, the most contentious confrontation between world leaders perhaps we have ever seen, certainly on television.
It was a truly historic moment, not in the good way. One that I fear realigned the world order, upending the only foreign policy consensus that most living Americans and Europeans have ever known.
A complete and utter mess. We don't gain anything by acting like bullies, and this is what bullies do.
I think there's no question that this was a setup. You heard Donald Trump say at the end of that clip you played, this is great television.
To issue an apology tonight?
Absolutely.
All right, so, but what else is going on? Not much. A World War III news, we're on the other side now. I don't know if you've heard that. Zelensky was in the Oval Office to discuss the big turnaround that the country has done, where Trump says now he's the dictator.
Statement for sure to say that it is one of the most astonishing moments that we have ever seen happen.
All right, so, but what else is going on? Not much.